Hello, this is Dr. Kamani, licensed clinical psychologist. Does your job define you? This is for Black women in toxic jobs. So I wanted to talk to you about being at a job and to what degree does that job define who you are? So when you introduce yourself, are you referring to your job and talking mostly of your job? So I want you to think about this because there's a danger that's involved when we start getting our worth or assigning our worth based upon external validation only. And so what you might say, or not only, but it's weighed more in terms of external validation. So when you think about your job, think about, is this something that you do to make a living, or does it define who you are? It is, if it's a situation where it is all consuming, that, you're working like up and above the hours that you were contracted to work. And anytime you introduce yourself or talk about anything, it's in relation to your job. That means that the job is defining you. And so if a job is defining you, then anything that's happening at the job is going to impact how you then view yourself. So it's like you're continually tied to the job in terms of how you see yourself. And so just think about it. If something goes wrong with the job, then you start feeling some kind of way about yourself. And then you are constantly trying to get approval from other people to show that you are worthy. So when you think about your worth, I want us to remember that we are inherently worthy. We are the gift to these jobs. The jobs do not make us, but many times jobs make us or try to make us believe that um, you are so much better because of this job, or you are honored to have this job. And it ties this sense that you are now part of this special clique or something, and that because you have been chosen, that you are more valuable. And so again, the danger of that is that you are seeking external validation to say you're okay or that you're worthy. And another danger of that is that you might start internalizing that in the sense that thinking that you have higher value than other people. So, because you have a certain position, then that means that you have higher value, which might then translate to you engaging in negative behaviors in the workplace. So, my hope is that when you're in a workplace, and particularly if it's toxic, if you see people around you defining themselves by their title and, power tripping and, seem to get some type of pleasure in putting people in their place, if that is your work environment, scan it, assess it, and see, am I doing this too? On some level, am I defining myself in terms of my job? So again, if this is happening to you, think and know to yourself and say to yourself, the job is something that I do. It is not who I am. The job does not define who you are. If you recognize that the job is starting to define who you are, some things that you can do, it definitely is to go to therapy, because your identity is tied up to the job. And if your identity is tied up to the job, you have given away all your power to the job. So the job can define in terms of determining how you feel that day, how you feel about your vacation, how you feel about taking time off. I've heard so many Black women, which is really outstanding in a negative way, right? But they have said that they have so much vacation and sick time accrued because they've been afraid to take a break. They've been afraid in the sense of, when they leave, what's going to happen? Is somebody going to try to sabotage them? And or feeling that they are the only one that can do that specific thing. Right. You might have specific job duties or things like that. But when you feel like an organization can't survive without you, that's problematic, because now you have the weight of the organization in terms of the weight of its survival. Now, if it's not your own business, then I invite you to really reconsider that. So if it's not your own business, but you are devoting all this time and energy, you feel that the organization will just crumble if you're not there, then there's some problems going on with the infrastructure and the systems in that organization. So I don't want you to take on that burden too, because just think about the amount of stress you have in your life already. And now you're saying that you are the one that has to make sure that this organization functions. That's not your role. Your role is to come to the job, do your role, get your paycheck. So Stephanie Perry talks about this too. When you are in a toxic job, that it's like this mind trick that happens in terms of making you think that the job defines you, and that is not true. So the job, let's think about our mind frame. The job is something that you do to get a paycheck. Let us center and prioritize ourselves and not a job. And think about, what does that look like for you? Does that look like, I don't know, do you need another job? Or do you need a different position in the job? Or do you need to enforce boundaries in terms of, okay, my workday ends at this time. I'm not taking work home. I don't do work on the weekends. I take my vacation time. If I'm sick, I really do take my sick time. So what does that look like for you? So again, if you are in a social situation and you meet somebody in the first few minutes, you're telling them all about your job and your job title, that might mean that you are defining yourself in relation to your job. It's okay to talk about what you do for a living, but if it becomes all consuming and that's all that you talk about, that's a sign, okay? And so remember, a job is not who you are, it is what you do to make a living to sustain your life. If the job is dominating your life and consuming your life, think about, what type of life are you living? And is this the life that you want for yourself? I don't know anybody who's really happy with being consumed by work. If you've noticed a lot of the workplace bullies and people who act negative in the workplace and those who power trip, many times if you look at them, you know that they are not happy. If you are taking that much weight, when you know how people say you're taking your job way too seriously, when you look at people like that and they're taking their job way too seriously and they are mean to other people so they feel better, and that is a telltale sign that they are deeply insecure. So again, I invite you to think for yourself. If this is your work environment, think about, is this the work environment that I want to stay in? And or if this is you, think about, what do I need to do to really evaluate, why is it that I'm engaging in this behavior? Why is it that the job is defining me? Is there some void within me that I feel that a job needs to help me feel validated and help to validate my worth? And recognize if that is what's going on with you, there's a danger in that. Because if you're putting all your focus or most of your focus on other people outside of you you, to validate and to fill that empty void, that's problematic. And so what are the ways that you can start validating and seeing your own worth without relying on a job? Because now you're always tied to the job. You're always relying on other people giving you praise. And if they don't, then that's so anxiety provoking. Then you go down these rabbit holes trying to prove things to people, trying to prove your worth. And the trick here is that you, and many times, are trying to prove your worth to people who are not honest and who are really trying to attack you. So you might think, okay, well, I'm trying to do this and this and this, try to get their approval. They're in the other rooms talking about you, plotting against you. So you're doing all these things, and these people are really not trying to help you at all. They know that they have control over you. When you think about in situations, think about like a bullying situation or a toxic work environment, there's often like the puppet master. So the puppet master is behind the scenes controlling everything. The puppet master doesn't care about you. Really, the puppet master doesn't care about anybody except for themselves, because they get this thing about power. Like the power fuels them, because the puppet master's empty inside too. but we don't recognize that because the puppet masters behind the scenes, and many times they have their, as they call minions, doing the work. So you may not know who the puppet master is, but I invite you to think about who is the puppet master at your job, and also who are the gatekeepers at your job? Who are the ones who enforce what the puppet master is doing? And who are these people? And look at their lives. Many times they are deeply unhappy, and it comes out in terms of how they engage with other people. Now, they may seem cool with people in their clique, but if you look deeper, they're really not. If you look deeper, you will see how they really treat people in their clique. You will see many times that they are talking about people outside, in the clique and outside the clique, you will see that. So again, look at their lives and say, is this the life that I want to be? Is this the work environment that I want to be in? And I have heard, and let me just say this too, even though I've had toxic jobs and I have now become so jaded that I know I do not want to go into another job situation. I want to do my stuff by myself, on my own, working with a team. That's what I want to do. However, I have had other Black women reach out to me, and they've told me, I was able to leave that toxic job and I'm working at a better job. It is so much better. There are good jobs out here. And I want to say that because even though that is not my choice to go back to a job, that might be your choice. And I want to say this too because I've heard this negative perception that, well, I might as well stay at this job because, I know the players involved, I know the game, I know what's expected, it's not too much. Like, and all jobs are going to be like this. No, that is not true. That is not true. That's something that we tell ourselves because maybe you've had multiple negative toxic jobs. That might be your history. Maybe you've had other people tell you about that, but not all jobs are toxic. They aren't. So don't delude yourself in saying that, and to have that make you stay and be okay with staying in a toxic job. That's all I want to say. Okay. I know my face look all contorted. My mother would say, stop looking like that. Okay. So that was just showing you how deeply I feel about that. That I don't believe that all jobs are toxic. I think a lot of them are. And I think it's important to be able to recognize the signs that a job is toxic and the impact that that toxic job is having on you, and to know when it's time to go. So my channel is to talk to Black women. If you're starting to even think, I think I don't want to be here anymore. This channel's for you. Any Black woman who's thinking that toxic job is not for you, I'm trying to think about how to get out, or if you've already left, this channel is for you. And so my videos are a way to just help you if you are at the baby steps and you're starting to think, I want to get out of here, but I don't know how. Hopefully, these videos can help you. That is what I'm envisioning, that these videos are helping you get the courage that you see other Black women, in addition to me, as a toxic job survivor, you will see us and you will see, wait a minute, there's a way out of here. I can get out of this job. I do have options. That's what I want you to know, that you do have options. There are resources for you. I will include resources in the description section as I do with all my videos. So I just invite you to be open to exploring and looking into these resources. If you are getting up any day, any work day, and you are dreading it and you're crying on your work, leaving work, all that stuff, if that is you, I invite you to really think about, what is the life that I want for myself and how do I get there? And you may need to access resources to get there. I have gone and access a lot of resources, okay? For me to pivot and get out, and I will do it all over again. I have no regrets about doing that. It has helped me pivot to get to where I am now. So that might be helpful for you too, okay? So again, the resources are in the description section. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, Lifting as We Climb, Consulting Wellness Services, please do so. So as I'm lifting you, as I'm healing, continuing to heal, I'm reaching for you and as many Black women as I can so we can channel our inner Harriet and leave and heal from these toxic jobs. So I'm asking you, as I'm reaching out to you And as you are moving forward, even if it's baby steps, okay, even as you're moving forward, that you also reach for other Black women and help them too. You can help them by being supportive, giving supportive words. You can also share with them the resources that I have in the description section here. And also, please share this video with another Black woman or Black women, preferably. So we want to help as many Black women as we can to get out of toxic jobs and to heal. Okay, so also give this video a thumbs up. It tells YouTube to suggest this video to other Black women in similar situations. Okay, so again, if your job is defining you, let's think about what are some things that what we could do so the job doesn't define you, because then you're giving your power away, and we want you to reclaim your power. Reclaim your power. You are powerful. But when you keep seeking validation from other people outside of you, particularly people who don't wish you well, and you know those people who don't wish you well, let's not try to get validation from those people, because you will be continuing like a dog chasing a tail, and we don't want you to do that. Okay? Okay, so I'm signing off, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.